Hello, everyone, and welcome to Footy Times for this week's review of the matches from Match Day 7. Before we get into the main content, please like, share, and subscribe. It really helps us to keep making these videos for you guys, help you with stats, and bringing all the analysis to you. Getting that out of the way, let's move on to the main content. As you can see, I'm back hosting the show, and you might have sort of guessed why. Arsenal getting three big, good points at Old Trafford, and as you can see from Sheldon, I guess he's lost a bit of hair from last week. I'm hoping.
From the last 2 years, I'd say. Actually, not 2, but anyway.
Yeah, so I guess I volunteered to give the introduction. So Arsenal United were the main game this week where we won a 1-0 win, but still it was a win. We'll talk about it more later, of course. And apart from that, I guess this week, a lot back to the winning ways. I guess this was one of those rare weeks where the top six teams actually scored all the 3 points, apart from United, if you can consider them as a top 6 team, but I won't get into that. So it was a pretty regular week by a lot of standards, like City winning, Chelsea winning, Liverpool winning, and the big game, which had 7 goals, Aston Villa and Southampton. So yeah, it was a pretty usual week in terms of the wins and losses. So I guess with that, I can move on to Avinash for this week's stat of the week.
Yeah, I'm going to make you even more happy now. So yeah, we're going to be talking about Arsenal in the start of the week. So yeah, this is yeah, you guys have to put up with this.
Arsenal.
So Arsenal won on the weekend, and this was their first win away at a Big Six opponent, which is Man City, Man United, Liverpool, Chelsea, Tottenham. First win away at the Big Six since January 2015. So they've won 29 games. 29 games.
So it's almost 6 years now. Like we are already at December, almost November. Oh yeah. Wow!
That's how long.
We should define this in pre-COVID and post-COVID.
Dude, it doesn't matter. It's so long.
We just gave a Christmas present to Arsenal early.
I think it's been a long due Christmas present, but yeah, there you go.
Turned out to be a Halloween weekend for you guys.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So sorry, Avinash, go ahead.
No, yeah, saying so. Yeah, out of those 29 games, there were 19 losses and 10 draws. So yeah, it's not even like they were drawing a lot of games. So they've been beaten quite a bit. And this is the first time Arsenal are winning at Old Trafford since September 2006. So that's like 14 years.
Wow.
And I can keep rolling out these stats. There is one more which says I think Arsenal have only won like 6 times in the last 40 years at Old Trafford, and all of them have been 1-0.
Oh wow!
So there you go.
You guys can take heart out of it, right? Like we don't trash you at Old Trafford. It's been a far few sort of a win, so it's not bad.
Average.
Yeah.
No comments.
Dude, Rahul, Old Trafford is more of playing away now. If you think about it, we've not had a single win in quite a bit of time.
That's true. Losing to all the London clubs, I think that's what you were saying.
Yeah. This season we've lost. We've dropped points against every London club. So I don't know. That doesn't make a good start of the week for us, but yeah.
Wow, that's true. I mean, you only played London clubs at Old Trafford this season.
Yeah, and it's not been a good.
1 point from 12. Yeah, that's pretty mad, really, and probably the lack of fans is a factor.
Actually, it's been keep going. I was going to add, like, when we played at home, it's been like 3 points in the last 8 games or something, some crazy stat like that. But
going back into last season, yes, that's true.
Yeah. So
yeah.
So yeah, we'll take them let them take the stage.
Yeah, go for it, Sheldon and Nisar. I guess I'll let you guys go in first with your thoughts for the Man U Arsenal games.
More like rant. But
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, I could go. You know what? Every time I was thinking about this game, I felt like, I need to, vent on my frustration. And it's weird when Rahul spoke about like the biggest game that we're going to be talking about. He mentioned Aston Villa and Southampton. When I was thinking it was going to be Arsenal United.
No, in
But
terms of goal, I
anyway,
mean, sorry,
no,
in
no,
terms of
no, no.
entertainment
I get
factor.
exactly. That's
Yeah,
what I was expecting Arsenal United to bring that entertainment factor,
sure.
which it did not. I think there was like before, like after the first half, I was like, oh, this game is very reminiscent of the Chelsea game. Both teams, although Arsenal brought the game to United, they had quite a few good chances, but 0-0. But before I get into the game specifically, I want to just highlight one thing. Ollie's winning percentages without being awarded penalties is 20%.
So
So
many stats.
So United have been like relying so heavily on penalties to do so well, and a lot of the people who are Ollie inners, if you want to call them that way, they've been saying that, oh, he's got 55 wins in 100 games as compared to Sir Alex Ferguson, who had 48. But anyways, with that being said, United Arsenal game, you expect it to be filled with like a lot of shots on target and stuff like that. Lots of goals in the game, but it was pretty even actually. It was like eight shots on goal, 8-7, so pretty close there. United had the majority of the possession with 54%, but we did jack shit with it. 85% pass accuracy. United started this game off with a 4-4-2 diamond, which everyone, including me, was like, oh, we have to go with this because, proved to be really, worked really well for us against Leipzig. We, trashed them 5-0. Obviously, now in hindsight, you look back at that game and it flattered us, the scoreline flattered us quite a bit. I don't think we deserve to win 5-0 there. 4-4-2, the craziest thing was, we played Fred really deep, and then we had McTominay playing on the right side of the diamond, which I don't know if that was. I thought that was kind of crazy. I mean, playing McTominay on the right side, he doesn't really bring too much as a box to box. He's more of a defensive midfielder. And with that being said, I mean the game was pretty standstill. The only thing that separated the both the teams was the penalty, which in my mind is also a bit contentious and controversial because even though Pogba made a huge mistake of trying to get the ball and he kind of touched Bellerin, but Bellerin made a meal of it. I felt he shouldn't have. He went down too easily. I don't know if that was a penalty in my eyes, but you know what? All in all, I thought Arsenal deserved to win the game because they created better opportunities. They played the better. They were the better playing side. United were turgid. They barely created. I do remember Greenwood shot on goal, which was blocked by the keeper. Uh, Couple takeaways from this game. I would say Aubameyang came into this game 0 goals in the last 5 Premier League, and he scored. He scored the crucial goal. So I mean, and this game was it's. I mean, the game was pretty much lost at midfield, you could say, because Partey and El Neni kind of dominated our
Oh yeah.
midfield, despite having Bruno, Pogba, McTominay, and Fred, who have been performing fairly reasonably well, but they've they were dominated. So I can't really say much. But you know, I don't know if you guys watch Shark Tank, but if you do, as Mark Cuban would say, for the fact that Ollie is just one trick pony who relies on counter attacking playing style. He has no answer through his tactics when when the team is lagging and going behind. And his, I cannot get into, the ridiculous subs and the timing of his subs. And for that reason, I am Ollie out.
Whoa. Very said.
That's a big statement to make, Sheldon.
I am so pissed off, and although I'm actually sounding pretty calm and composed right now, I'm kind of filled with a lot of anger, especially with yeah. You know what, Nisarg, why don't you go ahead?
Yeah, I was about to ask, like, what is Nisarg's stand, in or out for Ollie?
As in, it is definitely getting harder and harder to not be Ollie out, I would say. As in, for me, the only thing is I am not willing to go through another transition. It is like, I think it is, I'm just speaking out of more hope that this would work and not out of facts. uh, but like, this cycle just keeps on repeating, like a manager being there. I think we are like a classic example of a bounce back club. As in, like, if you look at the patterns, it's always there. Like, we signed Bruno, there is a small bounce. Oli came as a manager, there was a bounce. Then, like, for every event there is a bounce, but there is no continuity. As in, it's not. It is very short lived. And I think, as in, United currently have been like the model of inconsistency. Like, I literally like wake up, and like when I watch a United game, like, anything is possible. As in, they can turn up and beat a side 3-0, and they can lose horribly.
Yeah, like the
And
UCL thing, right?
yeah,
Last week they won, like last match week they won against PSG in PSG, and today they lost to the
exactly,
Turkish side. So
exactly.
But
And yeah,
actually,
yeah,
oh, go ahead, go ahead. I was actually just, yeah, go ahead.
yeah. So for me, I think this game, as Sheldon said, the Arsenal midfield, like, two midfielders dominating four midfield players, was just incredible. I cannot explain how that can happen. And like, no changes at halftime. You're seeing the system is not working. It's like players are playing out of position. There were like so many things that were wrong. And yeah, as in, I think one nil probably is just I think not indicative of how dominant Arsenal were, to be honest. As in,
yeah,
I'm not saying that Arsenal did create a lot of chances, but they completely ruled the game. It was pretty much men against boys, I feel. And Arteta schooled Oli for sure in this game, and they were better prepared, better drilled. I was actually shocked to see El Neni actually even starting. I thought that, and
yeah.
like, where did that
No,
come?
he has played big
Yeah,
games.
as in, for me, since like you
Sure.
usually hear like Ceballos or Zaka, and like, where did this guy come
Yeah.
from? And but it clearly was
Like,
visible, as in, he was there for a task and he
yeah.
did it to
Oh, he
the.
was
Yeah.
amazing. Yes.
So,
Yeah.
but yeah, as in, I don't want to take anything away from Arsenal. I think it is fair to say that they were the better team, and I think it was not the case of United playing bad. It was just we ran out of ideas. There was no ideas to do. Like, we did not have a clue how to break down that team, and even the Arsenal defense, like Gabriel and Holding, for me, were
Gabriel.
like really really good. But I'll let you talk about the Arsenal side of
That's
things.
fine.
Yeah,
That's fine. That's fine.
yeah.
Uh, I was actually going to ask you guys, do you think that Gabriel should have been sent off? Because I thought
Yeah.
he should
I
have
I
been.
I thought, why didn't you take that point out?
I
Because I
was
think we
I was
discussed this a
thinking
bit
about,
earlier.
yeah. I mean, the fact that he actually had a rash tackle on Rashford, which he was yellow carded in the first half, and then he kind of followed that up in the second half by bringing down Greenwood, and he wasn't even warned or anything. So I thought that
Yeah.
that was kind of crazy.
Yeah, I felt like he was lucky to not get the second yellow card at times, for sure. I mean, yeah, but luckily for us, he stayed on, and he
Yeah,
was sort of like a super important clog in the
but
defense. I
yeah,
felt
to
like,
that point, I feel the referee was fairly consistent. As in, I felt even Fred was fouling quite a bit. Like, and cards were not, like, basically it was one of those games where the referee was not showing
letting
cards.
the
Yeah,
game go.
yeah. So
Yeah,
so
yeah,
yeah, can't complain a lot. But yeah, obviously, I would have loved to see him off because that was the only way we would have scored a goal. I felt.
yeah. So I mean,
Yeah.
from an Arsenal perspective, I felt that sure the result was something. good, obviously, getting 3 points at Old Trafford with all the stats that Avinash just mentioned. So, uh, but I felt one thing that's still sort of lagging is the finishing, man. Arsenal cannot kill off the games. Like the first half, we had so many chances. Like Saka had a chance, Lacazette had a chance, Willian hit the post. So there were a lot of chances in the first half. It's been the same thing for like 3 matches now. Like we are creating so many good opportunities, like easy on the eye passing moves, playing out from the back. There's a like amazing uh, build-up play, but the end product is just sort of missing. So that was sort of one big disappointment. I was always wary of that. Like in the first half, like all the chances that we missed, I just was dreading that it might turn out to be a Leicester kind of a game, where the whole game Leicester come in, scored 1 goal, and to call the 3 points. Luckily, that didn't happen. But yeah, we got to bury the games. I felt like that was so much, uh, like has to happen basically. The other thing, now moving on to the good parts of the game were the pressing of the ball in the first half. Pretty amazing. Like the way you see Arsenal pushing. Like at a point, I remember Maguire or some United defender, Shaw, in the first half, he was pinned against his own flag by 3 attackers, Arsenal attackers trying to sort of take position. It was incredible. So the push, like the off the ball game again was totally on point, like it has been for the past couple of games. And I guess the defensive part, I'm so Elneny and Partey partnership was like Partey winning the balls, putting the tackles in, and Elneny showing like that creative flair. Like you see a couple of passes that he pegged out wide. It was pretty. So I was pretty much surprised by the pairing that at the start of the game, but it turned out to be pretty amazing. I felt like Mo Elneny had like his one of the best games in Arsenal's t-shirt, I felt. So yeah, it was good to see him. Apart from that, Gabriel, as you guys said, that had an incredible games. Like he won, I think. How many tackles did he won? Like I think 8 or 9 tackles. Like it was just insane. Like, and it was clean, like clean tackles. So yeah, all in all, I was super happy with the defensive side of Arsenal's game, which I haven't been in years, to be honest. So yeah, I hope that that sort of continues throughout. Uh, and I guess one other thing I wanted to sort of a small shout out to Eldini. There was this one play in stoppage time. Okay, in stoppage time, he ran across the field to press for the ball. Like in stoppage time, how did he have the legs to do it? Like he tracked the ball from like Arsenal's half near the D to like Luke Shaw. Like he went to Luke Shaw to press, and he earned a throw in out of it, which is. But yeah, in injury time. So yeah. Overall, I think that was the name of the game where it was a good defensive display. Attacking was good, but finishing was lacking. Yeah, I guess that's it from my side. I mean, sorry I rambled on for so long, but it was a good game defensively. I felt like yeah, it was a pretty masterclass from Arteta, the way he played the players.
Yeah.
3 points. Yeah, that's what matters.
Yeah, I think that is something which, I mean, we've already spoken about how Oli likes to counter attack, and I think Arsenal were never going to do that because Arteta is one thing he has shown is he's very tactically smart.
Yeah.
And he knows he has no problem at all setting up pragmatically when he has to. This was less pragmatic because he knew that United were there to be got at, but even then, wasn't like, I know you said they created a few chances out, but I don't think they created that many, given what Arsenal can in previous years. I mean, I'm pretty sure that's not. He still played with a back three. I mean, they posted an XG of around 1. So yes, they did have a few, definitely more than Man United, but yeah. That's definitely the one sort of delta where they need to bridge.
Right. And that has been consistent throughout is what my problem is.
Yeah. They have had they had trouble like creating a lot of chances, but I'm sure that will come, as he has more to do. Yeah, I mean, so I don't know if you guys have anything more to talk about the game. I wanted to I wanted to make some points about Oli. I don't know if there's anything more to add about the game itself. So unless you
Go
guys
for it.
have something, I
No,
can.
I guess.
actually, I have things to add about Oli. So go ahead.
So I mean, I've been hearing a lot of this kind of talk leading up to the game that people sort of, you could say, Oli inners saying that Oli actually has tactics. So everybody who said he doesn't, you got to eat humble pie because of what they've done in the last three games, beating PSG, beating Leipzig, you know, semi-finalists, finalists of last season's Champions League. So I just wanted to sort of counter that saying Oli has tactics. I don't think it's a problem. I don't think it's a case that he doesn't. It's just he can set up in certain games for certain opposition, and he can sort of instill that mentality and style of play for those certain games in his players. But then what he can't do is have a style and a tactical framework which will work for 95% of the games, where ultimately that's where you need to get at to be a team who can challenge for the top honors, because good teams, great teams, they don't change the way they play. Other teams change for them.
Mm-hmm.
And basically, this also gives the players the confidence that, no matter what, they have this style to fall back on. They have worked on it week in, week out on the training pitch, and they
Right.
know what they're doing. Right?
Instinctive.
Yeah. And this is something I've mentioned in one of the last episodes as well, that I just can't think of what a typical Man United move looks like under Oli.
Yeah.
What is it that they do? I mean, I know they counter-attack well. I know that they defend well when they have to sort of soak up pressure. They can do that very well against big teams when the stakes are high. But then in most of the games, I just can't see a common pattern, sort of where they overload, which players make which movements. I just don't know. So that kind of ties in with whatever I was talking about in terms of not having a tactical framework, which I think is so important. And that's one of the reasons. That's where the consistency comes from. You keep, I've heard this so often that we can win games, but we don't have consistency from Man United fans. So I wanted to point out that's one of the main things. That's one of the reasons where the consistency comes from. And the other thing that is so important to achieve consistency is the mentality. Like, these players need to be drilled. They need to know that every time they go on the pitch, there is a certain level of application, of desire and will to win, which is expected, which is non-negotiable. You shouldn't have to try to push buttons before every game. This is something that should be instilled in them. They should almost be programmed to win.
Yeah.
And that mentality it takes a rare type of manager to be able to instill that, which is why not all managers can win league titles. Because like they say, winning a league, it's a marathon, not a sprint. It's not a cup run where you have, a good run of games, like one of those runs which Ole is capable of. We've seen that. But then to do it consistently week in, week out, I feel these two things are very important. And that's kind of where the consistency comes from, which I have seen no reason to think that Ole is the man to be able to instill that. I don't know what you guys think.
I think that Oli, I mean, it's not just Oli, but also his coaching staff. I don't think they are experienced enough to actually provide that sort of backing for him, because he himself, even though he's got like this, he's been a manager for the last decade, but he doesn't have that experience playing top opposition and top teams. So he doesn't bring that to the table. So right now, if you notice, he's changing his teams and that is a huge sign that you're not sure as a manager. And when you're not sure as a manager, I mean, how does that kind of percolate towards the team? Because the team's like, okay, so I'm going to be playing with Mattis today. Oh no, I'm going to play with Fred and McTominay. So there needs to be consistency in that sense as well. I mean, the only sort of consistency we have at this point is being shit. So you know what? Right now, you know what? I could say that we could go ahead and play. We could probably beat Everton 4-0 on the weekend, and I will still say that I'm Ollie out.
All right.
Okay. So okay, I was curious though. Is it this game which is Ollie out-ish for a while now?
No, I was. I mean, even last season, I was not in favor of Ollie, but you know what? I was like, you know what? I'll give him a chance because he made it to top three. But right now, I don't see that progression. It seems like we keep we keep going back and forth, and yeah, like I said, there is no progression. We are stuck in this bubble, which I don't think Ollie is going to get us out of. Anyway,
All right,
we can
I
too
think
much on United.
Sheldon
Let's
can
move
do a
on.
whole
Yeah.
video on that, but yeah, we should move on, I think.
Okay.
So going back to Avinash, I guess for the next game that we have, West Ham.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, it was, again, not a particularly noteworthy game, not much to sort of, tune into for the neutral. It was not a great game to watch. I thought West Ham were terrible, honestly, for a team who was supposed to be flying. I mean, they've picked up, 8 points from their last 4 games. They beat Leicester and Wolves by a combined 7-0. They scored 3 against Tottenham, did pretty well against Man City, and they were so negative. They sat so deep, just they could create hardly anything. And the first goal was kind of gifted to them. It was a poor header by Gomez. So yeah, it was one of those where we kind of, have a bad start. It happened last weekend as well. And I think honestly, Sheffield United caused us way more problems last weekend than West Ham did. And I think another one of the factors for that apart from the tactics, was also how well Nat Phillips played. So I don't know how many, most people were probably not aware of who this guy is. It's just like some rabbit that Klopp pulled out of the hat. But actually, he's been around the first team. Not the first team, but he's been around the squad in the fringes for a while. He's actually older than Gomez. So he's not exactly, a young and up-and-coming player necessarily. He was Stuttgart on loan last season in the German second division, and he actually helped them in promotion. But yeah, basically, he just kept it simple. He won more aerial duels than anyone else on the pitch with 5, and he basically had Haller in his pocket and didn't really let West Ham play the sort of long ball game, which I'm sure they wanted to, which kind of we spoke about last weekend as well, how Sheffield United were trying to win the headers and then, playing with the second ball. They just could not do that because Phillips was so good. And yeah, otherwise it was pretty much a carbon copy of the last game. We kind of found it hard to create chances in the first half, looked a little short of idea, somehow got a goal going into halftime. I mean, yeah, you can have your views on whether that was a penalty or not. I don't want to go into that right now. And in the second half, for the most part, we were controlled and assured. Again, they didn't have any chances whatsoever that I can remember. Had a goal disallowed, just like last time out. But then, yeah, just sort of kept going. And again, Jota scored the winner. So that way, it was just like a repeat of the script. And yeah, I just want to mention what a brilliant pass that was from Shaqiri, who, these are the kind of, yes, he basically nutmegged the defender and sent Jota clean through. And, it's difficult to defend when you're tired and you've been defending for pretty much the entire game, when you have somebody like Shaqiri and then Jota coming on. And yeah, just a note on Shaqiri. These are the kind of moments of quality that this guy is capable of. I mean, I've seen him produce moments like this, but then he's not consistent enough, which is why I don't think he can be a regular first teamer. But it's really great to have him back and just, have an option off the bench. Yeah, so I think that's going to really help us going forward. Other than that, big picture, just what I said last weekend, there is no Van Dijk, but then the mentality is still there. In fact, they seem to be even more determined now to, sort of, it feels like everybody has stepped up collectively to fill that void. And it kind of reminds me of when Coutinho left. Everybody was saying, he is the main fulcrum. He's where the creativity comes from. And then everybody as a whole, the midfield, the front three, they all stepped up to fill that void. And I'm kind of seeing the same thing with Van Dijk. So, yeah, I mean, I think Liverpool are going nowhere in the title race. So I know a lot of people sort of wrote us off after Van Dijk and those couple of difficult games that we had. But yeah, I think, so it's still Liverpool are going to be
somehow like sometimes you say that, right? Like the 10-man team play harder than 11-man team. So it's almost that happening with Liverpool, I guess, right now.
It's kind of the siege mentality.
The other thing, something like what Jose likes to preach. I ask you, like, do you think Jota could replace Firmino in that front three of yours?
Yeah, I mean, that's kind of the raging debate right now after what happened against Atalanta. I mean, I don't think we want to go into that right now, but it was an exceptional hat-trick. And yeah, I think the calls for Jota to play against Man City this weekend are just at an all-time high. I am personally very intrigued to see what happens. Definitely, those three can work together. They already showed that in midweek.
Yeah.
Firmino brings something different in terms of sort of gluing the entire sort of the front three together. He likes to drop deep, whereas Jota likes to run and be completely different types of players. So I think there will be games where this can work as a front three, but I think Firmino is still extremely important to the way this team works, and I expect him to be back at the weekend. I don't know, maybe he might go with all four.
Avinash, I think what Klopp should do is play Firmino in all the away games. Anyways, he doesn't do anything in the home games, and play Jota in all the home games.
That might be one way of doing it, yeah.
People have backup keepers. You guys have home and away strikers.
Yeah. So I think for the first time in a long time, Klopp has actually got, like a nice headache in terms of selecting that front three.
Yeah.
I'm not complaining.
And there are rumors of Haaland also wanting to join Liverpool. I don't know how far they're true, but I can't just imagine. Haaland, Jota, Mane, Salah, and Firmino. Oh my God, that would just run riot.
I mean, here's the thing, right? No, there's nobody who's going to say no right now. It's all a question of whether Liverpool want them enough and whether they can make the numbers work. So I think that's what it's going to come down to. Yeah, I think we definitely have a vacancy up front, because I don't know how much longer Firmino can go, and I feel like he's already showing signs of, he's been running constantly for 5 years, basically. I mean, the amount of work he puts in game to game is just off the charts. So I think it's just natural that he's going to have a drop off at some point. We may be seeing that now. But yeah, I think he still remains a very important player. So I'm not going to. I think a lot of the fan base seems too trigger happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, they've just forgotten what he's done for the last 5 years. He's been Klopp's main man. No matter who else has been come and gone, Firmino's always been there. He's been the one constant. So yeah,
fair enough.
True.
Anyway,
if there's nothing else from you, Avinash, so I think we can move on to our high scoring game, which is obviously high scoring games are reviewed by none other than Nisarg. So take it away.
It looks like my specialty.
It's true.
Yep. So I'm going to talk about Aston Villa versus Southampton. It was a 7-goal game again, and fairly evenly split. So like Southampton won by 4 and Aston Villa 3. I felt that it was a fairly free-flowing game. It isn't mainly from Aston Villa's perspective. They were moving the ball well. But kudos to Ward-Prowse. What a first half. Like, he had 1 assist, which I've always been very impressed by his crossing abilities, like through corners and through dead balls. And 2 free kicks, which were just amazing. As in, you're talking about a keeper like Martinez, who is in form, like doing like brilliant saves. He pretty much did not move for all the first 3 goals. He was like pretty much, as in, he could not reach the ball at all. And it was very nice to see him score. I was mentioning to these guys that he is. I have marked him as a player to score most free kicks in the in Premier League. Even the last year I did, and I think he tied with Trent Alexander-Arnold. I'm not sure. But and obviously Southampton did it better with Ings scoring an amazing goal. It looks like it has been like a default. If Southampton scores, Ings pretty much scores. He's continuing his goal scoring spree.
I think there's a stat as well that he's been involved in 41% of the goals since the last season.
Interesting.
For Southampton.
48%.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing.
41, I think. Yeah, something like that.
Yeah, that's pretty amazing. I wonder whether there is like the Liverpool system has rubbed off him the right way.
I'm actually kind of feeling a little. I've been feeling a little bad that we let him go, but it was hard. He needed that game time because he had a couple of really bad injuries. It was
he has come back though. Like, he plays nicely now.
And he had the quality, I think. It was always there. Klopp really, he didn't want to let him go, but for good as much as anything else.
Yeah, true that. And I feel like in this game, Aston Villa turned up the game quite a bit in the second half. Again, Grealish being the main man in midfield, running the midfield, scoring a goal, and Watkins also continuing his scoring form. I think it was through a penalty, but still, you have to put them out, put them away.
Yeah.
And yeah, I feel that Villa would have been a good team if there was slightly more support to these players, to both of these players, Grealish and Watkins. But yeah, it feels like, again, and probably it's too soon to say, but it feels like Villa might not go to the same struggles of fighting with the relegation this time around if they have this form.
Yeah, that's not.
Uh,
Yeah.
so
I think they'll
yeah,
be fine.
and I think they scored they scored the last goal I think in stoppage time, and it was a nervy. Yeah, I think it was a nervy last few
And
minutes.
And
Yeah,
to the game.
but
Yep.
yeah, in general, again, high scoring game, fun to watch. Uh, Not the game that you would have picked to be the high, or probably you would, given that.
All South Africa's games have been pretty
Yeah,
good
that's true.
actually. They play a very
Yeah.
brand of football.
Yes.
I think
Yeah.
they've gone under the radar a little bit.
Yeah.
Hasn't built
Southampton.
such an
Yeah,
amazing job.
I
especially
Yeah,
yeah,
South
especially after that 9-0, right? Like it has been like it has
exactly.
been like a revival after that game.
He's basically coached his way out of trouble, right? And that can't be said for a lot of
Yep,
managers around the
that's
Premier
true.
League. Yeah,
I can see Southampton taking points from the Big Six and United.
they already have.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, not
But
United.
no, I know, but I was just taking a dig at United myself. Anyways,
I mean, their style
but
suits those
yeah,
teams.
but yeah, Aston Villa. I mean, oh, you know what? I thought that goal from Grealish came out of
Nowhere.
nowhere, and the goalkeeper
They
was
switched
like,
off.
"What the hell?" Yeah,
Yeah,
and
I think Grealish was involved.
I
He won the penalty and he
Correct.
had the assist
Correct.
for the first
Yeah.
goal.
yes,
And
First goal.
yeah,
Mings.
Grealish. I wish he was in United, but yeah, hindsight
Yeah.
2020, right? So, but good game
Yep.
in
So
general.
yeah, that's pretty much it for me. Unless you want to add anything.
All right.
I have a couple of stats actually, on this game. So
Avinash is on
interestingly,
fire with stats.
no, I think this game was particularly intriguing. Southampton had an XG of just one, and in fact, on some sides it's less than one. And they actually scored 4 goals. That's a ridiculous conversion rate, and I think that kind of borne out by the kind of goals they scored. 3 were outside the box.
Yeah.
Set pieces. Yeah.
Right?
Yeah,
That was
Yeah,
2 free kicks, one outside the
the
box,
second
and then a header.
Danny Ings.
Yeah, so those tend to be very low XG chances typically, especially the second one from Ward-Prowse. From that distance, I have no idea how he got that. The whip that he gets on the ball
It's
is
amazing.
something amazing. I don't know how he does
Yeah.
that. It didn't have to rise too high. It just
Yeah,
went flat over the wall, and that's kind of important if you want to get it up and down from that
that's true.
distance. So yeah, he's incredible. And on Ward-Prowse, I think that I saw a stat that he scored 8 free kicks already, direct free kicks.
This
And
season?
no,
no,
overall.
no, no, no.
Oh, overall. Okay.
Overall, and Beckham's record is the highest, I think, at 18 in the Premier League.
Oh.
So Ward-Prowse is actually 25, and I think he could break this.
If he stays in the Premier League.
We could be
How
on.
old is he?
Yeah, you were saying something, Sheldon.
Oh, I was gonna ask how old is he?
He's
Maybe
25,
Yeah,
I
I
would
think
think.
25.
He was 25. His 26. It was his 26th birthday on the weekend or 25th. I'm not sure, but yeah, he's got loads of time.
Oh yeah.
He is very. He has been compared to Beckham in the past because of the same things that misagments,
Yeah.
dead ball, and his,
Yeah, his
Yeah,
crossing
dead ball
ability is really
specialist.
good.
Just like
Yeah.
Trent.
yeah, and he's also becoming more rounded
Yep.
midfielder. He's pretty much playing in the midfield too. He's doing sort of the dirty side of the
Yeah.
game as well, screening the defense. So yeah, I mean, he's a real player out
Yep.
there, and he's just getting better.
True that. We can
Okay.
move on.
Yeah,
Right.
that is.
So, yeah, the next game, I think we can go back to Sheldon. You can sort of feel good about Leeds losing your old foes. So, Sheldon, go
Yeah,
ahead.
I guess. I mean, yeah, I could kind of dig deep and rekindle that hatred towards
Too
Leeds.
old.
What is
Too many
But
things to talk about as it is.
but you know what, Leeds? We were speaking about Leeds last week, and we were like, oh, talk about hat-trick Bamford. What the kind of goals he scored, and I don't know. I feel like hat-trick Bamford didn't turn up for this game. It was his twin brother
Yeah, Banford.
This
Yeah,
was the
Banford. This is
because
what he was. We thought
because
he
he was
would do.
yeah, I mean, yeah, but he was pretty bad. I mean, he the first chance, the first really good chance Leeds had was like in the first or second minute, and he like made a meal of it, and he didn't really score. And then Leicester got the ball, and within
Kingsley
10
scored.
seconds they take it. Yeah, they scored that goal, and I was like, wow! It was a really quick Fuchs. I think Christian Fuchs
Yeah,
to Harvey Barnes, and then from Harvey Barnes to Vardy. Vardy is so crucial to the Leicester team. I mean,
yeah,
I'm probably understating it, but the guy is he created that goal out of nothing by just pressing Leeds. We know Leeds, they are known for their own, their energy, the pressing and stuff like that. But Vardy did really well to actually get that ball to Barnes, and who put it away. And I thought that this game was actually between Leeds and I mean, we're talking about Leeds and Leicester, but it was actually between the battle of the strikers, you could say, because both their main strikers were had 6 goals apiece going into this game, and it was obviously Vardy came up on top. Had Bamford missed, I think, about 3 or 4 chances, which
mm-hmm.
he should have. I thought Leeds did really well. I mean, they created some good chances through passes and stuff like that, but Bamford, it just wasn't his day.
Mm-hmm.
Uh, then right after halftime, I think Leeds came back strong. They created some good chances, and I think one of the takeaways was the Vardy goal, which reminded me the of the goal that he scored against Arsenal, because at that point in time it was I think it was who was it? I think it was Tielemans who kind of passed it to under, and then under Vardy, and then that. But it was the same. It seemed like a training exercise, because it was this time it was Madison who passed it to under, and he got Vardy in, and Vardy was able to put it away. I mean, in typical Vardy fashion. So
yeah,
it I thought that I mean, Leicester have been growing from game to game. I think uh, they're pretty much, I wouldn't say they picked up from where they left off, but they are repeating what they did season. They started strong last season. I expect them, to put a really uh, good performance in getting to the top six. Vardy is proving to be a really, really good. I mean, if he can stay fit, you know what, they are going to push. I don't know. The chance of United making it is going to be pretty bleak. So
Sh-
that's all I have to
And
say about
Sheldon,
this
I
game.
wanted
Do
to
you?
add one point. I think I should have listened to your advice of getting Tielemans for my FPL team. He ended up scoring 2 goals.
Yeah, exactly. He's got the
Like,
penalty
what are the
as
odds
well
of that
towards the
happening?
end.
The week we say that CDMs are not a good buy, and like I did not know that he was the penalty taker in the team.
No, no, he was after
I see.
Vardy. Vardy
Vardy was
left.
Oh,
taken.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, then Taylor. Yeah.
So why did he take it? Wadi was not on the
Yeah,
pitch. Sorry, I forgot.
I
He
think it
was
was
a
subbed.
During VAR, Vardy
Subbed.
was
Yeah,
subbed.
Vardy won the
Oh,
penalty
I
though.
see. Oh, okay. Got it.
oh
Yeah,
oh
Vardy
really
won the
okay.
penalty, and
Yeah,
that was
I
also
didn't know
kind
that.
of an iffy call because of it was just inside the box. It was like that line.
Yeah, 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 yeah. There
There
was,
was a contention of
yep.
whether it was inside or outside the box, but it was
I
the
thought he
game
didn't
was
get an
done.
assist.
Sorry.
I thought Vardy only 2 assists in the first half, and that's it. He didn't have an assist for the last one.
Interesting. Or probably I might have seen it wrong then. It might be someone else who got the penalty.
Yeah, because I was looking at all the other FPL players.
I see.
I mean,
Was it
people.
Madison? Maybe it was Madison.
Maybe
I don't know.
Madison. Yeah. Maybe. Yeah. Sure.
Anyway, I don't think
Yeah.
it's it's that.
Yeah, but
We can move on.
Actually, yeah, some Brendan Rodgers. So I think I've criticized him before of not having a plan B and sort of not being able to change things up in order to suit the opposition and being very. But I think that he's added a new dimension to Leicester's play this season, which is the ability to sit deep and counter attack. And he's now gone and outsmarted that's Bielsa, Pep, and Arteta by playing that way. So I think, yeah, since I criticize him, I have to give him kudos because, yeah, where it's due. It's
a lot of character from Rogers' team.
don't. But yeah, I think it's anyway, yeah, well done to Brendan Rodgers for that. So like you
yeah,
said, team to watch out for that very reason this season. They seem to be more savvy.
yeah,
They-
and he did that. And he did that with makeshift defensive with the defense, right? Because
they're missing
a lot of
Kevin
injuries. So yeah, kudos.
Yeah, so I think it's doing a really good job. They have the longest injury list in the PL, I think. Anyway, yeah, so that is all I had.
Yeah, I think if it's nothing, we stay with you, Avinash, for the next game. Chelsea
Yeah.
Burnley.
Oh yeah, this one has we've been talking extensively about Chelsea and what system he chooses. That's almost like the new thing now. What team is he going to play? Who are which attackers? Which of the many attackers is he going to choose? So he pretty much put all of them out there this time, and this was an interesting system. He went with two attacking midfielders ahead of Kante. He had both Havertz and Mount playing as number 8s. And he had, I think, Werner, Abraham, and Ziyech as a front three. And I think this is probably the most.
No, wait.
Yeah, that's correct.
Werner, Abraham, Ziyech. Yeah,
Yeah.
that's correct.
Oh, Werner started? Okay.
Yeah, I think Pulisic was supposed to start, but he picked up a hamstring injury or something.
Oh, yeah. That's true.
But I think it worked out well because this front three looked very balanced to me because it has Abraham who kind of holds the ball and who can drop deep and who can also be more of a penalty box type of striker. And then you have Ziyech who kind of and he's more of a creator in those half spaces, and then Werner who likes to sort of make the out to in run. Which is kind of similar to Everton's front three we discussed, when Calvert-Lewin, Rodriguez and Richarlison are playing. And then I like the balance of that, and I also really like the balance in midfield. At least in this game where Burnley are, let's face it, they're pretty shit right now, and they don't pose much of a threat, so there's going to be a lot of space. So to have two creative players there who are also very good at doing the defensive side of the game. We know Mount has got a lot of energy. He that sort of number 8 role and done well. So and Havertz, I don't know how many people know, but he actually started off when he was playing at Leverkusen before eventually being moved further up the pitch. So he's definitely used to playing there. So they were almost taking it in turns to go forward while one of them was supporting Kante, and Mason Mount was actually brilliant. So I mean, we know G, but his quality is kind of understated, I feel. He was picking some brilliant passes in addition to sort of his usual game where he's pretty much everywhere. So I really like that from Chelsea. I know people will now say that he's found his balance, he's found his team, he's found his formation. I don't think this is a system which will work against all teams because it can be a little bit open. Because this is kind of, if you think about it, a bit like what City used to do in 17-18 where they had two number 10s essentially.
Yeah.
Have Fernandinho, who I think could be comparable to Kante, but the fullbacks didn't really bomb as much as Chelsea's want to do, especially with and Chilwell. So the balance can be off when you're playing a team who go toe to toe, especially in midfield. So it could work in some games still out, but whatever we saw was great. So that could be at least something to think about, and especially the front three is something that I like. So yeah, Chelsea are looking good. They've not conceded a goal in a while.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Mendy, I think he's proving to be such a.
Yeah, I was about to ask. Why is Kepa not playing?
Who?
Kepa?
Chilwell, Thiago Silva, and Mendy have all come in, I think, which is kind of been the difference. Yeah, you were saying, Rahul?
No. I was asking why Kepa isn't playing. I haven't followed
A
that.
very obvious answer
because
because
just
anyone
benched?
is better than Kepa.
I mean, yeah. I mean, he's benched, right?
Yeah,
No injuries, nothing.
Yeah.
nothing.
No.
No.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
benched.
They've just been waiting to find someone better.
Yeah. No, I've seen a few games. Like Mendy has done a pretty good job at in Chelsea's goal, but I had no idea why Kepa is not playing. But yeah, the usual reason.
Yep. So that is all, I think.
Yep.
Good, and let's see. Everybody is looking good. It seems one weekend, and we don't know what they're going to do next weekend. So
That's
good.
sort of the charm of this season, I guess. It's been so chaotic and like you can't predict anything can go.
True.
Yeah. So I guess it's the next game quickly.
Mm-hmm.
So I'll take City and Sheffield United game. So Pep coming back to winning ways, getting the 3 points at Sheffield, 1-0 victory. So sort of a standard game. So a couple of things about the game. So City again playing with like not a recognized centre forward, having Sterling and Fernan Torres in those false nine roles. The first half, if you see, the highlights would be like the Ramsdale saves, like so many saves he made in the first half. It was pretty incredible. A few were pretty good. With KDB back in the game, you can see Man City's creativity going up miles. Like the kind of passes that he picks, it was business as usual for him, picking up Sterling, Fernan Torres, and needing those passes in the final third. It was pretty incredible to see. So, it was a pretty routine sort of Guardiola game, having a lot of possession, poking into opposites half. First half, Sheffield United kept it alive. And then in the second half, apparently Kyle Walker is a big Sheffield United before the... Yeah, I didn't know that. So he didn't... Oh, okay. I didn't know that before this game. And he didn't celebrate the goal that he scored. A pretty nicely driven, long-range goal. Sure, he was a bit lucky going through a bit legs and all those things, but it was a nice overall goal, I felt. I guess much just 3 shots and one on target. Though they did create all those chances in the second half, so if you just sort of isolate out the second half, it was... Sorry, what?
Yeah, I mean, a couple of chances. I think they just stayed in the game. That's the only thing we could say about Sheffield.
Right. They were in the game. They could have converted an odd. The game would have.
Had chance, right? It was a big chance from the edge of the box, the cutback. That's the only one I can remember.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, that could have been it. That could have got them the point.
Right.
So it's just City didn't finish off the chances again, which I think Pep Guardiola mentioned as well. They're just struggling to finish off chances. They're not quite there yet. Basically, they're just about grinding out wins in a different way, Liverpool. But they're also kind of doing
I'm pretty sure he'll be very happy with a clean sheet.
Yeah,
actually.
Second in a row.
Yeah. So a routine win for Pep. I guess that's sort of the summary of that game. Nothing much to talk about. And if you guys don't have anything else on that games, I think Tottenham had a game, like a winning game
against Brighton, right?
Yeah. So
is anyone worried about Tottenham? Let me ask that. I don't think there's much to talk about the game itself, but is anyone worried about Tottenham?
I think they are worried about Tottenham. I don't know. They got 3 points, dude. And if anybody who's getting 3
with
points
Mourinho, I'm not worried. Like if Mourinho is the coach, I'm not worried about them at all.
That's what I thought, and given this last season, but there's always this thing with Jose. I still can't quite write him off. I feel like there's still one sort of last stand left
that he can.
But he always does well in his second season.
That too.
I mean, with United, he took United to what, second place? The best since Alex Ferguson.
Of his career.
Well, yeah.
No, I mean, I'm just saying that he tends to get his team working, with his mindset in the second season.
Let me clarify. So the question was more about whether them winning, is it? Or they coming in top 4? Like where
Top four title.
so
Top
so
four.
title. My question was more towards the title. I say they are like there's no hope for them winning the title. But
Yeah, I don't
as in
think so
top
too.
four, yes, I can consider
Yeah.
like yeah they probably are looking really good to be in top four, and that I could definitely give to them. But I don't think so they are going to win the title. I
Yeah. I
think
mean,
Jose,
logic
yeah,
would dictate otherwise, but
Jose is past.
you just never
Jose
know
is
with
Jose,
past
that.
his prime. I feel like yeah. As in, I don't know whether you guys looked at
Yeah.
the Tottenham documentary or not. It feels like it is like they're like literally fetching for moments. Everything seems to be like placed and not like really happening. I feel, uh, I, and
no, I did watch it, but then
yeah.
I was going to say that I thought I read somewhere that Jose didn't want to make sure that everything that what he does at Tottenham was in the documentary because he wanted to keep things,
Yeah.
undercover. So I don't know if there was any truth to it, but yeah, I mean, maybe true
Hmm.
as well.
But yeah,
Mhm. Yeah. Anyway, so I think we can something to. It does make it more
yeah,
exciting
for sure.
that
I
we have
don't think
the
so.
Tuesday team. Bale got the
Bale
winners.
scoring.
Yes.
That
Yeah,
front three can click. Who knows?
Yeah.
They've got
it's
like
As
a
in,
possible.
good
as in,
field as well. They've got a lot of options all
yeah.
squad.
Kane and Son just
Bale,
by just the two of them are looking dangerous and ominous. So yeah, adding anything to like
Uh,
I don't know what
Yeah,
happened with Bergwijn. Like he looked impressive when he came in. I don't know whether he's still around or injured or like like yeah.
I
I
thought he
fe-
played this week, whether he lost to
or
Antwerp,
did
but
he?
yeah, I don't know. Yeah, I'm not sure.
yeah,
I think he's kind of not the sort of the first choice
yeah.
at this point. Even
Is
this him
I do like him though.
is
and
Mora also injured?
Lamela are both ahead of.
No,
Is Lucas Mora also injured?
no. I think
No, I think he's. I don't
yeah.
know.
I think he also played in the Europa game. So I think he probably did not.
Okay.
yeah,
Okay.
he was
Well,
there in the
one thing
substitutes.
actually, one thing I wanted to ask you guys about was the Kane conceded. Do you guys think it's actually a penalty? Because I didn't think it was a penalty.
I mean, I think this is something which attackers are doing a lot, where they get in the way and they make it seem the
Yeah,
player
the
is
They've been
jumping
pushed.
over them. It's actually them backing into the player.
Yep.
So it's yeah, it's just the way the game is refereed. That's basically my answer. That's what I'd say. And yeah, more often than not, that gets given a foul. I think outside or inside the
Yeah.
box.
but but it wasn't it outside. Like I
I think
don't
it was
know.
just inside, but these
It
kind of things.
was. It was. Yeah. I think it was on the line or something like that. I thought it was outside, but then
Yeah,
yeah, that's what VAR kind of thought. But
yeah.
yeah,
Those
it's
struggles will
crazy.
continue.
Yeah, I
Yeah.
mean, yeah, there's no point debating those decisions. I think.
I'm wondering if there's going to be some sort of stat law of like how many controversial decisions are going to be taken this season.
Don't even know how to define controversial because everything seems controversial. So I don't. Yeah.
True that.
Okay.
Cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is
So I guess,
covered
yeah.
everything.
All right. So I guess just a quick roundup of the remaining games. Wolves win 2-0 against Palace at home. Fulham also win 2-0 at Craven Cottage against West Brom. Everton lost to Newcastle by a goal. So yeah, it was a pretty nice weekend where we got in a lot of results. They were not just bad draws. And to top it off, Arsenal won. So yeah, if if people don't have anything else,
Yeah.
if we don't have anything else, I guess we can end the video.
Yep. We are good to do
All
that.
right,
Sounds good.
all right. So thank you guys for joining us. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe. We'll be back again next week with the games. So yeah, stay tuned. See ya.